Oh, that is a nice copper coin. But oh, Doug, do you know what time it is?
45 up.
Who says 45 up, Doug? It's quarter after. What's up, guys? Quarter here. Welcome to Thursday night's Quarter After, the show that we made up, and sometimes it makes no sense, but I'm glad you joined us anyway. We're going to have a fun night tonight. Gypsy Jewels is going to be joining us, the star of Stage, Screen, and Dirt. We're going to be talking to her about her whole career, television, YouTube, podcasting, so many things. But before I bring the regular gang in, let me say a couple of quick hellos. I see Hot Mess Fishing, Alicia in the chat. Thank you very much, one of our moderators. Northern Tier Metal Detecting, 5 Mile Relic Hunter, good friend of ours. Southern Yankee Flipper, new name, or maybe I forgot. Of course, Turd Ferguson's here. Gasper G, Gabriel Segal, the brother of Steven. Workman's Adventures, Audrey Girlinghouse, Soylent Green from Nebraska, welcome. Don Hartman, a good friend of mine who I just sent some pictures of an incredible coin. Wait till you guys see this one. My first, and he was able to ID it. The Clad Warrior, Toledo Tab, Gary Lacarte, Rustic, I'm sorry, I missed it. Rustic Relix, Camera Nut 75 from Alabama. Hey, how are you? Everybody, I'm going to get to you as the show comes on, but let me bring in some of the co-hosts for tonight, starting off with the handsome and charismatic Charlie, the Heritage Relic Hunter. There he is in bigger screen. How are you, Charlie?
Jason. Hi, everyone. How you doing?
We are well, Charlie. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yep.
You look extra good. Did you put on different makeup this week?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you're like glowing. Yeah.
Usually I just wear that on the weekends.
Yeah, you look good. I appreciate it. The camera really makes you look good.
Well, thank you.
I lower the vibrance and I raise the brilliance, and you look great.
Well, I appreciate you doing that because usually I don't look good.
Well, all the help we can get. I use trick mirrors for me, Charlie, to slim myself down.
Okay.
But let me bring in some more. Of course, we're going to bring in the one and only Miss Lindiana Jones.
Hi, everybody.
How are you, Lynn?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We are well. I'm going to bring in, of course, the bearded one in a second. Doug's not able to join us today. He had a last-minute emergency that he had to attend to. So he may be in the chat later, but I don't think he's going to be on video. So, luckily you guys are here to, be the handsome ones of the group. Let's bring in the last of the Mohicans, the bearded one himself, Mr. Rich Van Winkle. How are you, Rich?
Good. How's everybody doing tonight?
We are good. I didn't know if you were going to make it. It was like 7:13. I didn't see you yet.
Yeah, I got home late. I had other things to do, and then I was eating. So I just got done eating 5 minutes ago.
What'd you have for dinner, Rich?
A spinach quiche.
Oh, wow. Doesn't that take like 7 hours to make a quiche?
No.
Oh, I thought it did. I thought you had to get the eggs to rise just right and all that stuff. Isn't there something with eggs?
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's luck for me, but the quiche is very easy to make.
Oh.
It just turns out great every time.
You know what I told my wife last night? I was online and I saw a commercial for this thing, and I think I'm going to buy it. You know how you have those Keurig machines that like make your coffee one cup at a time?
Yeah.
It looks like a Keurig machine, Charlie, but you put in some mixture, and when you push it down, soft serve ice cream comes out.
Oh, wow.
You could do chocolate, vanilla. It's like $1,000. So
and you're going to get it.
Well, I'm debating.
I saw
You could buy a lot of ice cream for $1,000.
a soft serve machine at somewhere like Walmart or Target or something recently.
We lost Rich.
He froze up there the way it looks.
He froze up. I mean, maybe Walmart has a cheaper one than the $1,000 one I saw. But, the Cape Cod father, Eric, thank you very much for this. We're going to be seeing him soon. Thank you, Eric. The only reason I'm thinking I might not get it is because it's one thing to get fat off ice cream, but at least you have to like go to the store and get it and come back. So a lot of times that's a deterrent.
Right.
But to like have an ice cream machine in the next room could be really dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Maybe if you do a commercial for one, they'll give you one.
Well, but I'm saying like I'm debating like do I really want
Do you
one?
want it in the house?
Problem.
Jason, that all sounds good. But to clean that thing's gonna be hard and a pain in the butt to clean one. Because I used to clean soft serve machines at the end of the night at our restaurant that we had years ago.
The reviews said that exact thing. That's a pain in the butt to clean.
That take everything apart because you gotta worry about bacteria all the time.
Yeah. So there's a good chance I won't buy. Does anybody in the chat? Oh, Dog Tag Doug is in the chat. I just saw him.
There he is.
So he is here. Oh, and Bethesda Ministries, DBA Chaplains for Change. Thank you for the super sticker, Bethesda Ministries. Oh, I think Rich is back. Hold on. There he is.
Yep, I'm back.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. You were right in the middle. Wasn't there a famous song by Elton John, The Rich is Back, or something like that, Lynn?
I don't think that's what it is, but I think you're close.
Oh, okay.
What happened was
yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah.
My computer said low battery with no warning at all and just shut off.
Yeah, we saw the repercussions of that low battery as you just disappeared mid-sentence.
Yeah.
We were talking about the potential for the ice cream machine, Rich, and I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. Oh, the main dirt sweepers is here.
There's cheaper soft serve machines. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if the cheaper ones, like sometimes you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't need to spend $1,000, I don't think.
Yeah,
Like
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm probably not going to get it. It's just like a dream, that I'm having. Like, oh, wouldn't that be great to have soft serve ice cream on demand?
You could go to the store 1,000 times and get a cone for that.
Yeah, I know.
You can even have it delivered.
Like I was delivered, like DoorDash. I guess you could DoorDash one ice cream cone, right?
Oh, no.
It's like dripping down the guy's head.
Are you that lazy?
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes I am.
DoorDash
Then I work from home.
away.
So sometimes like I don't get dressed like Monday through Thursday. I don't even get put like a change, because I wake up and just walk to the next room.
Hey,
Lynn,
Jason.
Out West Metal Detecting. Thank you very much, Out West Metal Detecting. I wish I knew his name. Every week he sends something. Thank you, sir.
Jason, since Rich is back, I'd like to congratulate him on his what he found this last week. And I'm not going to say what it is, but congratulations, Rich, on your great find.
Thank you. I'll send you a picture, Charlie.
I would like to have a picture, yeah.
If you haven't seen it.
Yeah,
Way to
Rich
go.
had a bucket lister.
Yeah, good condition.
Yeah, we won't say what it is. I don't want to
No.
give it away. But yes, Rich finally got his mojo back. Because I thought Lynn stole all Rich's mojo.
Right.
Because once Lynn came on, like Rich is, wasn't finding. Oh, Big Wave Digging Life. Hold on, let me put his thing up. Hold on. It says, where is Super Jessica Fragilistic XP?
She's in Florida fishing right now.
I did text her earlier today, Charlie.
Yes.
I texted her this little video. I'll play it for you. It's only 11 seconds. I have to hold it on my phone though. It looks like this, Charlie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
Jess and I.
Woodpecker.
Yeah, it's a paleated woodpecker. Jess and I exchanged bird pics. That sounds bad. But Jess and I exchanged pictures of flying birds.
Okay. I understand.
And the paleated woodpecker is her favorite.
Yeah.
Where I'm kind of preferential to the downy woodpecker.
Okay.
But
and
I feed them all, Charlie. I feed
they
them
are
all.
common around here. They're very common.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jess is down in Florida. Her husband's he's a pro bass fisherman or whatever, and he's down there at an event, and she's tagged along this week.
Yes. So I'm sorry, Jess will not be here. She might be in the chat later, but she won't be on this week, unfortunately.
And I'm sorry I couldn't meet up with you guys Saturday. It was like outside my house. It was solid ice on the highways and stuff.
Yeah.
I got some really good footage, Charlie. I'm excited about it, where we did a lot of slow-mo stuff with the ice because I can't really explain it, but when you see it, I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this video. And then, of course, Rich had a mega bucket lister.
Yeah.
And I had an incredible thing.
Oh,
I can't
yes,
say what
I
it
heard
is.
about that.
Yeah. Oh, it's epic, Charlie. So that's going to be a fun video
Yeah.
when that comes out. But
Right.
I don't want to tell
Right.
anybody.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys did it. I don't know how bad it was for you to travel, but it was Saturday. It was where I'm at was all ice, and I was thinking if you guys could make it or not to where you were going. But
It was
obviously
ice where you were, and it got warmer as you went east. So, like my house, there was no ice.
Right.
Yours was like the North Pole, and we were hunting in the middle where it was like okay.
Okay. All
yeah,
right.
and where we were hunting, the grass and everything just it was solid ice.
Oh, really?
But the dirt wasn't frozen, but halfway through the day, when I found that item, I was waiting a while for them to get to me because I was far from them.
Right.
And by the time they got there, the water, the hole had filled up with water.
Yeah.
So I had to.
Wow.
I had to
He was in like
the
elbow deep in
Yeah.
the mud slurry trying to find the thing.
Well,
Yeah.
our ground is still frozen here, guys. You know, the Tuesday's video this last week, the video that you put out, the ground was frozen in that video. The ground's still frozen here.
Mm.
Not
Really?
go out yet.
Well,
You think
we're not going out.
Sunday will do it, Charlie? The 50 degrees and rain?
Yeah, almost 60 degrees. So, yeah, we're almost out of the woods here. Spring's almost
I hope
here.
so. It's been a long winter
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring Gypsy in 2 minutes. I'll do a couple hellos. I see. Cape Codfather asking if I can show the skeleton key. I don't. It's downstairs. I don't have it. I'll bring it up for the next one if I can. Hold on. Who's this? The IDEST is Rich or any of the crew going to Digstock next month. I don't believe any of us are going. Rich, Charlie, Lynn, are any of you guys going?
No.
I wish I was, and I'd like to get to more of those things in the future, but it's just wasn't going to happen this time.
Yeah, I'm really bummed. There's another Out West detecting. Oh, his name is Greg. There we go. Thank you, Greg. Now I got to remember, Lynn.
Yeah.
Out West detecting is Greg. Help me remember next week. I'm really bummed. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to the Missouri Show Me Hunt, which is one of my favorite hunts. I love the Missouri friends that we've made down there. They're like family. So I don't know. Usually they'll be in the chat later. Mitch and Renita and Jeff and the Cash family and everybody, that's where I met Alicia, Hot Mess Fishing, one of our moderators. That's where I met her down at that event. Just nothing but good people. So we'll have to see what's going on. But Rich, I'm going to bring Gypsy in 1 minute. I can see her back there. She's touching herself up. Looks good. Last minute touches. I'm excited. I'm excited to have her on. So let me introduce her. Rich, Lynn, have you ever met Gypsy in person before?
Not in person.
No,
just on the show.
You know what? It's terrible if I don't remember, but I don't think so.
I don't think. Yeah, you don't go to as many events. Charlie, you've met her several times. How long have you known the lovely Miss Gypsy Jewels?
Well, when was Pound the Ground? That's been 6 years now.
I think 20, maybe 18, maybe 19.
So Pound the Ground's when I first met her, and then the Red Dirt Digging is the second time I met her.
Yeah, down in Oklahoma.
She was there, met her out there, and a few other times since then.
Now she's a good one. Oh, Teresa the Treasure Hunter is here, who also met Gypsy with us down in Oklahoma.
That's when we met Teresa too.
Yes, that's where we first met Teresa. So let me bring her on. If you're not familiar, Gypsy Jewels has a YouTube channel, Zero Discrimination. It's been out for maybe 8 or 9 years now. So she's a YouTuber. She's a podcaster with Treasure Vortex, formerly All Metal Mode. She's been on television shows, Beyond Oak Island and the Gold Rush, Freddy Dodge spinoff show, amongst others. She's a painter. She's an author. She really does it all. I'm excited to have her on to hear her whole bio. So big round of applause for the lovely and talented Miss Gypsy Jewels. Gypsy, that's not her. There she is. How are you,
Hi, all.
Gypsy?
Hi, Gypsy.
Hi, Gypsy.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you
for
for
having
joining
me.
us. I like the wall, all the wall behind you too. Is that like, is your whole
no.
house decorated in those pictures?
No. Actually, one of my fans that watches my YouTube channel sent me this, and they stole these photos from my from my Facebook, and then they sent me this, so I use it like as a little backdrop. So
It's
I
funny.
think it
My
works.
downstairs, my whole downstairs has your pictures all over it. Yeah.
I figured.
Yeah. I had to explain to my wife who you were. It was really awkward. But
Your poor wife.
now, Gypsy, thank you for joining us. I mean, we're going to try to steal you for the night and kind of go over everything you've contributed to the hobby, all the things you do. I don't know how you even find the time. So I appreciate you coming on. And I'd love to jump in because I've got so much to cover. If you can let us know from the earliest days, what even got you into metal detecting in the first place?
Okay. Yeah, I get asked that question all the time. And only just about a couple years ago, I found out a new, I don't know if you've heard this, but a new important kind of thing. So apparently, well, let me fast forward and then I'm going to backtrack again.
Okay.
Um, a little over 26 years ago, I was visiting Galveston Island, and I was about to walk into a one of those little cute little souvenir shops in Galveston on the seawall. And up from the stairs were walking this couple with a metal detector in their hand. And I was like, oh. So I stopped, and I'm just one of those that I like to talk. I like to meet new people, and I just asked them if they had had any luck with their metal detector. And they said, yes, we have. And so they pulled out their finds from their finds bag, and they were showing me. And I was just like, my eyeballs got this big. And I was like, oh, wow. And I remember asking them, I said, they had like coins, they had a pendant, they even had a ring, and of course, some trash and stuff. And I was just like, oh my gosh, well, how long were you out there? And they said, oh, about 2.5 hours this morning. And I was like, oh, wow. Well, you found all that in about 2.5 hours? Well, so I decided right then and there I was going to buy myself a metal detector. And lo and behold, probably about a week and a half later, I can't remember exactly, been a long time, slept a lot since then. um, I ended up going to Radio Shack, and I purchased my first metal detector.
Oh, wow. Do you know what brand it was? Do you remember the brand?
It was just a Radio Shack brand.
Oh, no
So
frills brand. No frills.
no frills. It had two knobs on it.
Okay.
And it had the little meter.
Oh, the media had antennas that stick up.
It just had this little meter. And well, and back, I said I was going to backtrack to this story. I thought that was the first time I'd ever used a metal detector, but talking to family members, they were telling me that my uncle had an old White's machine back in the day, and they said I was about 5 or 6 years old, and my uncle said, "Hey, you want to try this?" and took me out to the property across the street where there used to be this old homestead, and they said that I dug up some old spectacles and that I pulled them up, and I was like so excited, and I was running down the lane. Look what I found. Look what I found. I don't remember that. I guess, some of those memories when you're that young, but maybe it just stuck in the back of my head.
Okay, it's possible.
It's possible that I had used a metal detector before. But anyway, that's how it all got started. And I was into types of treasure hunting even way before. My dad, growing up, used to take me, we would go dumpster diving down the alleys, and I was always looking on top of the ground, finding little treasures. And I remember my dad got me as a young kid. We stumbled across some old dumps exploring, and so we were digging in the old dumps way back then. And I found some really cool old stuff like marbles and bottles, and I kept them, forever, and never thought that I was going to be digging in dumps and metal detecting for a living, you know.
No, it's crazy. You get that bug early, and you know, it really is treasure hunting. Even if the treasures are marbles
They're
and
small,
yeah,
right?
small little things. It's just the fact that you found it. And I'm still amazed that this magic stick can swing over the ground and find these invisible things, even if it's a memorial penny. It's just how crazy is that exists? It's like space age. And I'm with you. Once you get that bug, you're really hooked for life.
You really are. And you know, there's so many people that have had that, you know, I mean, think of I bet you every one of us here, you know, and including in the audience, as a kid, you know, we grow up watching these shows, you know, like Treasure Island and, you know, yada, yada, all this. And especially the new generation, think of what they're watching and the books that they're reading and stuff like that. You know, there's always that what could be out there. And so you just never know. And even though we might not be finding major hoards of quarter like quarter hoarder, but
He's
we
trying. He's
we
trying.
we find, you know, small treasures
Yeah,
one
it's
at
the
a
last
time.
frontier of adventure. I mean, everything's been, you know, everything's been charted, people have been everywhere. But now we're looking for, instead of new land and new things, we're looking for things that were left behind or hidden
Right.
or lost and bringing it back again. So it's a different kind of treasure hunting, but it's just as thrilling. It's just as thrilling.
It truly is.
So 26 years, you know, from that, you know, in the past, you've been detecting in some way or another, fossil hunting, marble, all the different things that make up treasure hunting. So if we were to fast forward to about 9 or 10 years ago, what made you then take that passion and start a YouTube channel? What made you do that? And was that something that, you know, you were even nervous about, like maybe like, you know, holding the camera to yourself and talking into it? What made you take that leap to share this with the world?
That's a great question. So, I actually have a video called My Story on my YouTube channel, Zero Discrimination. It goes into detail. So, I'll try to do a shorter version, but
Okay.
they can check out my story and why I started my YouTube channel in more detail. But when I started it, there was some
I'm going to put your
stuff.
channel up while you talk,
Yeah.
Gypsy.
Okay. There was some, I had some health issues, you know, and I always considered myself major, you know, healthy. And I went through some surgeries. I lost my right kidney to kidney cancer. And
Oh,
after I lost that kidney, 6 months later, they found more cancer where the lymph nodes used to be that were connected to that kidney that they removed. And after they removed it, you know, when you have those near death experiences or something that sounds like it, because at that time, after that second time go around before my second surgery, the doctor told me, you have 5 to 10 years to live.
wow. He told you that.
Yeah. And you know, you get that death sentence, you know, so to speak, death sentence. Uh you really take a hard look at your life. You know, I broke down crying in front of the doctor, you know, that just told me this, you know.
Understandable. Understandable.
And you know, not knowing for it until, you know, after they did that second surgery, which ended up being an exploratory surgery, um, where they actually cut me open 9 inches under my right rib cage, and where the cancer was, it was pressed up against a major artery. So the doctors that were working on me were very divided on how to proceed with this surgery, or what to do, because the type of cancer that I had um, doesn't respond to chemo or radiation. So that all went well. I'm doing great, cancer free. Um,
So how long have you
so
been in remission for then, Gyps?
let's see, it's been, I guess, about 8 years. maybe
Wow.
9. I'd have to look back, but yeah, somewhere around 8.5 years.
Well, good for you. Good for you. I
Thank
knew
you.
you had some sort of a health scare in the past. I never pried. So I appreciate you sharing with us all. And I'm glad it worked out like it did. And I guess when you're facing what in your mind is an inevitable end, it really builds up your courage to do things like start a YouTube channel because you're like, I only got limited time left. I want to live life to the fullest. And
Right.
you really build up a lot of courage in that scenario.
Yeah, when you watch my video, you'll understand a little more. But I never aspired to be a YouTuber. I didn't even watch YouTube, so I was clueless on how to navigate all that. I just jumped in there and started on my own. But I actually, whatever you want to call it, my spirit guides, my God, source, universe, I don't know what it is. I actually heard something. I know this sounds crazy.
Really?
It sounds crazy, and
Oh, hey.
but it happened. And until something happens, it actually said start a YouTube channel, and I was like, what the heck was that? I know
Wow.
that sounds crazy, but I don't care. And then anyway, so I did. A couple months later, I started a YouTube channel. And right about that time, it was really crazy because I broke my right ankle as well the same time that I started my channel. So if you go back to like the very first videos, the first few videos, I've got a foot brace from metal detecting in like one of my first videos.
Oh my goodness. Now,
It's
and
crazy.
just to give people some sort of some context, like when you say in 2025 I started a YouTube channel, to give some context, like I said, Gypsy, right now in America alone, there's over 50,000 metal detecting YouTube channels, just metal detecting.
Wow.
But back 8-9 years ago, there was like less than 800. So that was really early on in YouTube. So that was a big deal. That was a big step that not a lot of people did, where nowadays, everyone and their mother has a YouTube channel, So
It
you
was.
were early to the table with this.
And I was one of the first women. So I know I wasn't the first, but one of the first women in the hobby that, you know, started doing that. And then right after, it just started snowballing. Same thing happened when I first got into the hobby. I was just so gung ho back then. I ended up moving to Galveston where I first, ran into that couple that were metal detecting on the beach, and I ended up moving to my to Galveston with my ex husband, and we owned a business at the time, and I ended up deciding at the time to open my own metal detecting business. It was called the Treasure Finders. So I
Oh,
I started my own brick and mortar metal detecting sales business, and I also rented metal detectors that people could take out on the beach. And then I started the Galveston Island Treasure Club that is still going strong today. And when I first started that, they ended up making me president. And when after I left, you know, it was before, when I first started, there was probably one other woman attending, and she was like the wife of one of the husbands, and she would only come occasionally. So I was like the only woman most of the time at these meetings. But by the time I left, within, I think it was like a 3.5 year span, um, there was equally as many women in the club as there were men. So
wow, really?
that was crazy.
Now it is pretty cool. And going through your library, like you said, I wasn't planning on bringing this up, so I'm doing it as you're talking here. But I found this. I believe this is it. Yeah. I'm going to share this real quick, Gyps.
Okay.
This was your channel, and I'm going back, and this video here, which is over 7 years old, 100,000 views. I clicked on it earlier today to try to refresh myself on your beginnings. And what I thought was really cool is if I click on it, I'm not going to play it, but if I scroll down to the comments, I commented on it 7 years ago. That's how long I've known you. Yeah, there's my comment right up there. So I thought, well, how cool. I've known you, through the platform for at least 7 or 8 years now. So I'm glad I got to see this journey unfold for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So when you first started it off, how, were you nervous about the camera on you? Did you know how to edit? Did you just record it and put it up? Like, what was your process on those early videos?
I didn't know anything about editing. Nothing.
Most people don't.
I didn't know a thing about editing. I remember I bought like a GoPro because, the smartphones weren't quite as big then, I might have had a BlackBerry then,
Yeah.
And so I bought a GoPro and then I started filming and I ended up getting, I think, the program Filmora.
Okay.
And it's Wondershare Filmora. And I taught myself how to use it. And I just taught myself the basics, and then, I would play with it, and occasionally I'd get a little better and better. So you can kind of see the progression when you go all the way back, and you hear the same with your videos, I'm sure, as well.
Yeah, it's nice when you can go back and see someone's, I like to leave, I always hope long-time YouTubers leave those early videos up, even though they're usually terrible. But you can see the progression of the skills and the, how they've learned to, do it better.
Yeah, you don't know how bad I want to delete some of those videos. I'm like, I can't watch them.
But you can't do it. And then out of the, 9 years, hundreds and hundreds of videos, what was your favorite YouTube moment that you captured in one of your videos?
That's a good question.
I only ask good questions. I leave bad questions at the door.
You know how to put us on the spot. Let me think.
Rich, Charlie Lynn, while she's thinking, what was your guys' most favorite moment on our videos? Do you have one?
You mean at the hunts themselves?
Yeah, like what was your favorite moment while Gypsy's thinking?
Well, I only have one.
So you only have one moment so far.
Yeah. So I guess it would be my seated half.
That's a good moment. She found a seated $50, Gypsy. That is quite a moment.
I think
my favorite moment, Rich, is Robert Legendry sending me the $10 super chat. Thank you, Robert. All-time favorite moment. Now I'm going to kick Rich in the head. I'm sorry.
Not a moment for me, but just a great quarter hoarder moment was the fact that the Cobb field gave all 4 of us one.
No, that is true.
And, it's just, it was
it's
almost
nice when you can share everything with the group. That was a great moment. Charlie, hold on to your thought. I'm going to see. I think Gypsy may have thought of hers. Did you think of one, or should I bring Charlie in? All right, let me hear.
There are several, and some of them are actually seeing my friends find,
That is the best.
When I was able to catch some of my friends that were metal detecting with me and seeing and sharing in that moment and capturing it, that's just flipping amazing. But I would say probably when I found my cut real, that moment was very special. So.
And you captured the whole thing on camera?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Or at least most of it?
Yeah, I think most of it, because I was really shocked and I really didn't look at it. I saw what I thought it was and I just called my friends over and they videoed, and I didn't look at it or pick it up until I had my hand covering it. Yeah. And I was like, I think I've got, it would have been, one of those moments I know y'all have all had these moments where you think you've got something, and then you're like, I don't know. And then you record it and you're like all excited, and then it's like, wah, wah, wah.
You get a lot of duds. But
a lot of duds. But
yeah, we have the same strategy. Like if any of us find something, you immediately drop it, you cover it up, because I don't even want the person that found it to look at it, because I don't want your mind processing it.
Right.
Like, just leave it. And then when the group comes over, we'll all experience it together, because then you really capture the magic of the moment.
You really do. Same thing, like I'm sitting at my desk, and my desk is a mess, and I've got little finds from everywhere all over. And like when I found this gun barrel here.
Oh, okay, just a barrel. All right.
And
YouTube shut my live stream down a few months ago because someone held up a gun. So I forgot, don't hold up any guns. Don't hold up a squirt gun.
It's just the barrel. It's just the barrel. That's terrible. And probably we shouldn't say GUN. So
yeah, we're gonna call it something else. Call it a different name. Call it a nug.
This barrel. Nug. So anyway, I when I realized what I thought I had, because I still wasn't sure, because it was packed with dirt, and all that. I called my friend over, and she started videoing for me, and just being able to share along with your friends and other people.
Well, Dog Tag Doug, he taught me everything I know about video editing. So thank God I brought him into the mix, Gypsy. Charlie, did you think of your favorite moment?
Well, I had quite a few great ones, but the one that's my favorite, believe this or not, is that 1662 King Charles II hammered coin we found in New Jersey.
The half groat. I remember.
Even my British friends were surprised that coin was found here. Even the friends that I know in England, they said they were surprised that was here. And that's King Charles. That's the same guy who gave Pennsylvania to the Penn family.
Oh, yeah, going way back.
Going way back.
And Gypsy, that wasn't even the oldest coin Charlie found in that field in New Jersey.
What was the oldest?
No, so what was
the oldest coin that any of y'all have found?
Well, Charlie found the oldest coin that anyone will probably find in America. Charlie, tell her what you found.
I found a hammered Roman coin in that same field, not too far from where I found the King Charles II. I was shocked.
It was from the year 270 AD, 270.
I love it.
And the surprising part about it, like I'm saying to myself, what's that doing here? And then the comments, when he showed the video, there were so many people elsewhere that found Roman coins also, mostly in the Northeast here, of course.
Well, Charlie,
I'm thinking how that happened.
There's been a lot.
Charlie, I want to interview you, if you don't mind, for my book. I'm writing a new book, and
oh, look at that, Charlie.
And I would love to interview you about that, because the same thing happened to me. And I was in Florida, and I found a Roman coin on the beach in an area where it's normally covered with water. And all of those questions start going around in your head.
Right.
And then right after that, the same area, another metal detectorist found like 4 more, and it ended up being on the news. So then I started asking around. I have a friend that lives in Tampa that sells metal detectors, and I started talking to him, and I started talking to friends, and I found out that there had been many upon many found in that area.
Right.
And someone claimed that they had found those earthen vessels full of some Roman coins.
Oh, a whole cache of them.
And so I started, at first I was thinking, maybe a hurricane, somebody's coin collection got washed up, yada, yada. But after that started happening and I started researching, I started finding out that there's been Roman coins found all over the U.S. for centuries. And a lot of it gets swept under the rug, just like other things that have been found and gets swept under the rug is the way I'll put it.
Never give anything to the Smithsonian if you think it's
I
going
wanted to
to change
say that.
history.
I'm glad you said that. That's already in my book.
Yeah.
Because I have friends that have found the giant bones.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, really?
As soon as they reported it, oh yeah, we're going to take it over to the university. This is going to be studied, and then boom. Oh yeah, we're going to go to either the Smithsonian or the Vatican gets a hold of it, and poof.
Gypsy, there's a comment from NEPA History and Archaeology Search where if you put Charlie in your book, don't make him too famous because I don't want him to leave my group and join your. Like, I need him. So
He's going to move to Texas and join
change
me.
his name a little bit. Change his name. You know, I don't want him to get a big head.
But I'm glad you brought that up because mine was close in the same age as yours, Charlie. And so what I did discover through research that there had been many Roman ships found right on the coast and in the Bay Area of Florida. And of course, no one knows about it because what happens, you know,
They hush it up. Yeah.
it gets covered up. It gets hushed. So,
well, I was, it was very hard for me to decide what to do. I just got back from England. And in England, I did not find a Roman coin. My friends did. My friends found Roman coins, but I did not. I found Viking, I found Anglo-Saxon coins and so forth and so on, but I did not find any Roman coins like most of my friends did. And here I found this Roman coin in New Jersey. I was like, yeah, sure. They're going to believe that I found it here, right? He just came back from England. No, it was a complete surprise to find that coin that day.
Yeah,
and Lynn was with me. Lynn could tell I was perplexed, right, Lynn?
Yep. It was the minute you looked at that coin, you could tell it was something really unique.
right. And, you know, that's interesting because you can tell, I mean, all of us can tell when a coin has been in the ground a long time. And I could tell the beach wear on this other where even the sand was like so impeded into the coin and encrusted. But a funny thing happened. Well, one other thing, speaking of Roman coins, before I close that chapter, where I lived near Round Rock, I had also found out through my research that there were some Roman coins even found in some old Indian burials.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of the modern archaeologists make up a story, you know, well, it was probably because of this, but I disagree.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, it's hard to say. Charlie's was a mystery. I thought it was like one of those, you know, one in a gazillion, you know, unheard of. And then when the video came out, a lot of people emailed me and said they've also found Roman coins up and down the East Coast, which was really relieving because my biggest worry was I didn't want people to think Charlie pulled some shenanigans.
Oh, yeah. I've had some people, I've heard rumors that people like, oh, yeah, she planted that, you know.
Yeah.
And same thing with, I was with a friend and we were at a dump in Fort Worth digging and they saw me pick this coin up because it was so encrusted and everything. And actually, I think I have it here on my desk. I saw it a few days ago. If I can find it, I'm going to keep looking. But I found another Roman coin in a dump.
Wow.
Now, of course, that one could have gotten there through someone's collection or something, but it's weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just doesn't make sense to me.
Rich hasn't found a Roman coin, but a few weeks ago he found a Trojan tin. So that's close.
I missed that.
Oh my gosh.
All right. All right. That was a good segue. I'm gonna change the subject up.
All right.
So I'm back to your YouTube channel, but we're gonna move on because from your YouTube channel, maybe being like you said, one of the first women out there consistently posting, you landed, which back then was amazing, still is today, a part of the Garrett field team, which is like everyone's, you know, desire to be, you know, considered by one of the major brands as one of their spokespeople. How did you get to become part of the Garrett field team? Did they reach out to you? Did you reach out to them? What's the story behind that?
Well, it's kind of a funny story. I won't go into too big of detail, but there was another company that had contacted me about possibly being part of their field team. And I was contacted by Von Garrett, which was, you know, this is the son of Charles Garrett, the founder. And I had met him like years and years ago at one of the Garrett, not one of the Garrett, one of the Texas treasure shows. And anyway, we reconnected at one of the Charles Garrett memorial hunts. And so he had emailed me and said, "Hey, are you going to make it to the next memorial hunt?" And I told him at that time, I said, "Actually, I'm not sure. It will really depend on, I've been approached by another brand to possibly be a part of their field team." And he said, "Oh, no. Because at the time I was using Garrett along with one other. I still had my Mind Lab, or a Mind Lab as well, but I was mainly using Garrett." And he said, "Well, let me talk to my team, and I want you to consider, being us adding you, see if we can add you to our field team." And so I got called to Garrett Manufacturer facility, and they gave me a tour, and we sat at a meeting, and they wanted me as part of their team. And so we signed contracts, and there you go.
It's funny, Rich and Charlie. I remember whenever it was, it's probably been 6 years or so, after Gypsy got the Garrett field team thing, you texted me, Gypsy, because you were so excited.
I did?
You did. I have the text on my other phone.
Oh my
You texted me and
gosh.
said, "You're never going to believe it." And, it couldn't have happened to a nicer person. Like, when you're a big company and you want to get someone as a spokesperson that represents you, you worry about that person. Like, and we touched on this when Steph was on. They're representing you. You have to be clean. You have to have good language. You have to be, you don't want to embarrass them.
Right.
So when you go with Gypsy, you make a good choice because she's only going to keep your brand elevated. So, kudos to them. It was a really good fit, I thought.
Well, thank you. Jason, I have admired Jason from the beginning, and you've always been an inspiration to my YouTube channel as well. And I know I don't get a lot of the permissions like as amazing as some of your permissions that you get. And I don't live in quite as old of a historical area, but it was definitely an honor, and I just always hope that I represent them properly and to the best of my ability, and also just representing all of us. Even though it may be with Garrett, one particular brand, just us all in general as hobbyists and as detectorists, treasure hunters, etc.
Yeah.
Because it reflects on all of us.
It does. Yeah. It elevates everything. It puts the hobby in a good light. And for Garrett, especially, you really hit a home run. You don't have to worry. It's only going to be positives. And like I said, it was a really good fit for you and for them.
Thank you.
And for people that don't know, what does it mean when you're on the field team of one of the major manufacturers in the hobby? Like, what do you do for Garrett? Like, what does a field team member do? Because it is a pretty prestigious a part of the hobby.
So one of the main things we get to do is we get to test out new products before it even reaches the market. And then we get to give our feedback. So, having doing this for 26 years, I know that there's already people that have been doing it longer than myself. But part of it is to be able to test that before it even hits the market and say, I really love this feature, but I wish it had this, or, give our 2 cents, so to speak, of what features we would like it to have, or and then if there's any issues or anything like that, so we can give them back that feedback, and they can, in turn, add that to the product, etc. And so that's a real honor to be able to test these products before they even hit the market.
Now, when I met you, I think you were using the AT Pro. I don't even think the AT Max was out yet.
I think that, I was using the AT Pro and you were using the AT Pro.
I was.
And so I started watching your channel because I was like, oh, cool, he uses the same machine as I do, and I
that
remember
was such a popular machine. I mean, everyone and their mother had that machine. Like, it's got to have been like legendary. I mean, there's got to be pictures on the inside of Garrett's wall. It was such a monstrous, machine in the hobby. It really brought everyone in.
It really did. And what a lot of people, don't realize is how monumental that machine really was, even as far back as the Garrett Ace 250.
Yeah.
Even way before the AT Pro came out. I remember, because I had started those metal detecting clubs, and I remember what brands were on the market at that time. And that Garrett Ace 250 put an $800 equivalent in another brand that would have been cost you about $800 to $900 for about $250 in everybody's hand. And I still have friends today. I've got one friend here in Texas that he will not get, he bought himself another Ace 250 because that's what he takes to all the competition hunts. And he can out hunt just about anybody with that 250. It's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. It was a great, and when we met Rich, he was using an Ace 250, and for the first, maybe year he went with us, he was using the 400.
Yeah.
It's almost the same technology. You have the interface is different, but same hardware. And he was finding more than the rest of us because, whatever machine you have is the best machine. If you take your time,
if you take your time.
Yeah. So there is no magic pill of this machine's,
No.
Use what you got. And those Garrett machines, that A series line, the AT line, always good, which kind of leads me into, as you as a test member, I know recently Garrett came out with their newest machine, which I saw you and Brandon, who we had on testing it, their new Vortex. Which now I think is out for sale. When you had it, it was still pre-production.
It was still pre-production, yeah.
What are your thoughts on the Vortex as compared to the AT Max, which I know you loved? How is it compared? How are you handling newer, updated equipment?
So I have to say, and I'm you being an AT Pro person, once you get used to that machine, like you just said, it is hard to switch,
Very hard.
It's very hard. And so when you're trying something new out, I remember just trying the AT Max. It took me probably 2 years with that AT Max to really get used to all the nuances and all the different noises. Then once I did that, I didn't want to put it down. And so, I would still go back and occasionally use my AT Pro, maybe for some river hunts and stuff like that. But once I got proficient with the AT Max, and I knew that there were advantages that the AT Max had over the AT Pro if you just took the time to learn it. And that's with any upper caliber machine with more features, etc. It's just that learning curve that you have to go through.
No.
And so, to me, now this is my opinion only. I think Garrett, this is one of my favorite machines that I've ever used that Garrett has put out.
The new Vortex.
The new Vortex, by far.
Wow, really?
Because it has like the similar stuff to the AT Pro and the AT Max and even the Apex, but there's things about it that they've added, features that they've added that none of those machines had, and that I just really, really love. And what I love about the interface on this machine, as opposed to even the other Garrett machines, as well as other brands that I've tried out, the interface is so easy to use. They always make it so user-friendly, easy to use. So it's been super fast to pick up all the little, oh, well, that icon that I'm clicking on makes sense, And what I like about Garrett, they always have, you can go to their YouTube channel, and they always have, for that model of that machine, step 1, how to turn it on. Step 2, how to do this. What does this feature mean? What does this feature mean? What does this feature mean? And they continually coming out with those. I haven't even watched them. It was so easy for me to just get on there. Oh, well, I know what that icon is. Click. Set my settings, and I'm gone, and it remembers that setting every time. And so it's just, they always make it so user friendly.
Yeah, well, that's good to know, because I know when I first got the AT Pro, I had to watch a lot of YouTube videos and then try to go outside with it and practice what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
And, when you're new to the hobby and there's a brand new machine out, maybe there isn't enough of a library of videos for you to use as a resource.
Right.
So it's nice that Garrett is providing that, because, look, nothing beats firsthand experience. Go out and use it. But you need to know what the buttons do, so you have some sort of idea of what to change and when to change it. And what's neat about this machine, Lynn, I'll tell you, is it's kind of a new concept where you can buy the machine at 3 different firmware tiers. So you buy the base Vortex, which I think is called the VX5, Gypsy.
Yes.
And it has so many features and settings and performance, but then you can buy an upgrade to it, two upgrade levels, where instead of buying a whole new machine, you buy the firmware update, which then puts on additional settings, additional features, additional performance, without having to buy a whole new machine. It's kind of a new concept.
It's good marketing.
Well, it's good. I mean, look, when I like the AT Pro. When the AT Max came out, I really liked it, but did I want to spend $750 on it? I didn't, because I thought, well, my machine is pretty close to it. But now if there's an option for $70, I can update and now have that. It really creates a new dynamic that maybe the hobby in general will start going towards.
It truly is a really brilliant, not only marketing strategy and marketing standpoint, but it really will save people a lot of money, because how many of us, like you just said, Jason, y'all have people come to you all the time that have never used a machine and that want to try one out, but they're not sure if they're going to like it, or if it's going to sit, in their closet and collect dust or whatever. So they may not want to go spend that $800, $900 on the top of the line. So they can just purchase that first program, the VX5. And then if they say, I'm kind of liking this, but I still don't want to go spend and buy a new upgrade, a new machine, but I've got this machine. All I have to do is plug it in and pay for the, $50, $80, I forget.
It's not the price of a new machine, I'll tell you that.
Upgrade to the second tier if they want the second, or they can skip that second tier altogether. So there's the VX5, the VX7, and the VX9. And the VX9, I'm finding that it's almost better to just go ahead and get the VX9, because it is so easy to use. It's already got all that advancements on there, that you're not killing your pocketbook, for even the beginners. But, for the people that want to save that money and just aren't sure, it's perfect for all ages, really.
No, it's really interesting. I haven't gotten one in my hand yet to try it. Maybe at the next event I go to, I'm sure someone will have it there. But I really like the concept of the flexibility of building the machine as you go. It's simultaneous multi-frequency, but I think Garrett has their own name for it. But that's basically the technology. And unlike the Apex, which was simultaneous multi-frequency, this is also waterproof. So for water hunters like Gypsy Jewels, now you can take this machine anywhere. So I'm hoping it really is a home run for Garrett. It checks all the boxes. So I'm excited to, see how it does. I know it just came out to the public maybe within the last month or so.
Yeah, and it really was kind of funny watching them, introduce this because, people were balking about the color being blue. And I know that
colorblind.
and that's what I was about to say. For the colorblind people, it didn't even matter. But blue
They're
is
all
one of
black
my
to me.
yeah, blue is one of my favorite colors. So I thought it was beautiful. And they said the same thing about, the Garrett Carrot when it came out, but they didn't realize the marketing behind that. You drop that in the woods, you can see it,
Yeah.
from a distance, you can find it. Um, you know, it's great marketing
No,
again, I
I
think.
hope it. I hope it really kicks off. I mean, I know that like as a hobby insider, people were, wondering like when Garrett's going to come out with this new machine. It seemed like it took a long time, and now this
Yeah.
one finally comes out, and it's got everything that it has. I really hope that they can keep up with the demand. I hope it does well, and I'm excited that you were one of the first people that I saw even have it. You were like, I saw you putting those pre-production videos out so I could check out, see what it looks like, see the dynamics, see what features it had. So
I
I'm
was
always
I
excited.
was excited because I got to even test it, the very first prototype out before KG and Ringy. So I was like,
I remember from personally when Noctis sent me the Legend before it was out, and they wanted a video on every feature, every function. So they mailed me this machine. There is no manual. It didn't
you don't
exist yet.
know.
So
Right.
I had to, within like a week, I had to learn it and then learn it enough to teach you.
Oh no.
And
That's
then when I
tough.
finally got the manual, it was in another language. And I was like, well, this is no good.
Oh my
It was
goodness.
quite an experience, but it was fun. Who doesn't like tinkering with new technology?
That's funny.
So
That's
now,
so
as
funny.
part of the field team, I know you also go to a lot of events on behalf of Garrett. That's where Charlie and I have bumped into you several times. What were some of your favorite events that you've ever gone to? Because that's one of the nicest perks is that you can now see people and meet people that otherwise maybe you'd never have an opportunity to get to.
Well, I think one of them especially was Pound the Ground because
Yeah, that was an iconic one.
that's where I met Charlie and you for the first time.
Not only did you meet Charlie and me, Gypsy, but you also met this person right there. Do you know who that? This is from Pound the
Oh, look
Ground.
at Brad. Yes,
Who
I
I'm going to
forgot
see
about
Brad
that.
next weekend. The three of us, and at this time, Gypsy, 7 years ago, we were all tiny little nobodies,
We were, right? And you're wearing the banana shirt. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I'm wearing the banana shirt.
That's a historic photo right there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I had the banana shirt on, and this is before you were even, I believe, on the Garrett team, wasn't it? At that Pound the Ground, or were you on the field team at that point?
Actually, let me think. I think I had just signed, didn't I?
Maybe you did. I don't remember the timeline. But
I think I did, but I'm not 100% sure. My memory's kind of fuzzy, but I think so.
You may have been. I'm trying to remember.
I was brand new because I think Jocelyn was still part of it.
Well, Jocelyn was at the Pound the Ground with me, Jocelyn, and Drew were hanging around the Pound the Ground for a while. Charlie, well, you were there, Charlie, right?
Right. Yes.
I didn't even know Doug and Rich. I'm sorry, Rich and Lynn yet, and Doug didn't go. But I remember it was a great hunt. There was probably over 1,000 people there, the biggest detecting event I think that ever happened on U.S. soil.
Maybe I wasn't. I may not have been yet because I think it was the next year that I was.
Yeah, in my mind, I want to say the Hoover boys were kind of in that role at that point.
Yes, they were. Yeah, they were up
so
there.
I don't know if you were or not.
Yeah, I was. I had to be in the beginning because I remember being there. Yeah, I was.
You were signing your
I was signing
photo.
Autographs. Yeah,
next to the Hoover boys.
Yeah, next to the Hoover boys. I remember.
Yes.
So I was.
Okay. All right. Well, the Pound the Ground.
They had to chase some of us out of the building because
of the building.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
it was overloaded. Fire
crowded. Right.
Yeah. That's how many people showed up to see you and the Hoover boys.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it was a big one. But the Pound the Ground was great. And then we bumped into Gypsy about a year or two later, Charlie, at this one. And this is one of my all-time favorite photos of me and Gypsy right here. Because I got Gypsy to wear my glasses of shame, Charlie, for the picture.
I see that.
What color are they? I don't even know.
They're pink. Pink.
See, I didn't realize they were a goofy color. And so I was wearing them in the videos, and they look better on Gypsy than they did on me.
Oh, no.
That was
Same
one of
color
my.
as your normal glasses, Jason. We just don't tell you.
Oh, they're this color. What color are these, Rich?
Like a salmony peach.
Yeah.
Salmon. Listen, I had Crayola crayons as a kid. There was never one called salmon.
You wouldn't know what color it was anyway.
I wouldn't know. But I love that picture of Gypsy. That's Barack, who was with Nokta at the time. And this event was in Oklahoma, Charlie. You remember this event?
Yes, the red dirt digging or something like that.
Something like that.
And that's where Teresa was too. We first met Teresa. I think Teresa was sitting with you at the table.
Teresa's in the chat.
Yeah.
She said she thinks she took this picture.
I think she did. I think she did.
Teresa met Gypsy the same weekend, as I recalled. Unless I
that
have
was
that wrong.
the first weekend that Teresa and I had met Teresa and I and Zola had all
Zola, right?
Zola,
and,
she was awesome.
And we all had got a Airbnb together, and there I was rooming with Teresa, a total stranger I'd never met, but you know what you do.
If somebody wants to room with you in the future, what do they just contact you directly?
Well,
he's speechless.
Sure.
You don't have to answer that.
Lost for words.
You don't have to answer that.
You know, but you know how you meet somebody and you just know you can trust them. That's the way
Teresa I'm the same way with Teresa.
That's the way I felt with Teresa. So I didn't have anything, you know.
Yeah, the first day I met her, same thing. Like you just instantly like Teresa. She's a good person.
Exactly.
And, we've hunted her. She's come up to Charlie's area many times, and
she's actually coming in for Come Out Swinging, which is in April, the first weekend. She's coming in to detect. She's
good.
She's actually staying here
at your house.
Yes.
Okay. Right in between you and Judy, or does she have her own room?
Not quite.
Okay.
But she's been back here quite a few times over the years. We of course we're good friends, and that's from that event that we were all at, that Red Dirt event.
You know, and that's what's so amazing about this hobby. You know, when we meet friends from all over, you know, and we connect, and we're friends for life. We're all part of a family, so it's amazing.
It's a nice community.
It really is.
Yeah. It is. It's one of the best ones. I mean, I have one here. This was from last year's Show Me Treasure Hunt in Missouri. Like I said earlier, one of my favorite events.
I love that photo.
Yeah, go one. Me, Doug Gypsy, and Mitch and Renita Barks, who are amazing, amazing people. Really fun event. Really enjoyed it, and I was able to steal Gypsy away for a minute to grab a photo with her.
And you know, speaking of Mitch and that hunt, as we were just talking about this hunt, I saw a message scroll on Messenger across my screen, and it said, "Hey, are you going to make it to the Missouri hunt this year?" So,
will you be there? Will you be at the Missouri
from
hunt?
him, I'm planning on trying to be there. Right now, I just got asked to 3 different hunts from Garrett, so I'm going to Digstock. Is one hunt that I'm going to be making. Bone, Best of New England.
Yeah,
that'll be kind of in y'all's area. So
I've never been to one of the Bones, but I'm debating on maybe going this year. I've heard good things about it.
You should try to go. I mean, at least we could all see each other and hang out. Brad Martin usually is there as well,
right.
And I'm trying to get my co-host there, Amanda, because it's only I can't remember. It's 3 or 4 hour drive for her, but
yeah, she's up that way. I think she's in Maine.
Yes.
Maine.
So
she's driving all the way down to Pennsylvania to hunt with us, Charlie.
Yeah.
So I mean, to only go to New Hampshire is probably a
lot closer. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's right on the New Hampshire border, so it's a little closer. Maybe it's only like a couple hours for, I can't remember, an hour and a half. But anyway, so going to Bone, and then I'm going to try to make the Show Me hunt again, and I'm also going to the Arkansas. It's the Ozarks.
The
The
Ozarks one. Okay. Yeah.
And then there may be one in Virginia, that the Digger's Den, that I actually sell metal detectors for, somewhere in Virginia.
Okay.
Is hosting, they're not hosting, they're a sponsor, is what I meant to say, of the hunt that I may be going to as well. So,
yeah, I have one other picture, Charlie, I'll bring up. I don't think you were at this one, Charlie. This was from Arkansas. This is what, we always go out to dinner at these events afterwards, but this picture is nice because you can see Relic Riley in the front, who we've had on the show.
Yeah, right.
Gypsy Jewels in the back. Next to Gypsy is Hot Mess Fishing Alicia, one of the moderators. Me, Dog Tag Doug, Johnny's back there, Heath Jones. It was quite a nice gathering, and that's one of the nicest things of these events because, when you go, it's a lot of walking, it's a lot of talking, your voice is sore, your legs are sore, but we all get to kind of get together and, relax for a nice dinner afterwards. It's one of my favorite.
What's really nice, I heard you paid the tab there for all that.
I paid the tab for everyone except for Johnny. I'm not buying his bed. I'm tired of buying his food. Not like it. No, it is. It was a great event. We had a good time and nothing but good people. Always enjoyed it. So before I move on to the next topic, Gypsy, if somebody out there is an aspiring YouTuber, metal detectorist, and they were trying to get a sponsorship, what advice would you give them to reach out to a company or whatever based on your experience of working with different vendors and companies and things like that?
I think, I was lucky enough that they reached out to me, but I think if you're aspiring, you definitely need to, number one, use their product, or be using their product. And then, send them a video, a clip, of you using their product and what you can do. What most of them look at is you have at least X amount of, they want to see that people are going to see your videos. That you're basically you're doing advertising for them. But in a sense, but you're actually using the product and you are getting results, It's just the same as, you with your Nocta and even before then, whatever brand, even if you're not sponsored, you use that product and you get a result, you feel like sharing it and having that enthusiasm of, oh man, this is what I found with my AT Pro or my blah, 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 blah. That's what people want to see. They want to see the results and what you're finding and stuff. And that might, get you a sponsor.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, even if the sponsor is minimal, they're not giving you millions of dollars, but, you get yourself in with the crowd. Maybe your name gets mentioned on their Facebook and you start building up, your name higher and higher within the community. I agree.
Gypsy, have you ever been on the packaging at all, on the box?
I've been, one of my finds on the box, but I've been on the cover of their catalog.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I don't have that picture. I'll have to
and I've been in some of their ads in the magazines as well. Like, got surprised several times where I get one of the American Digger magazines or one of the gold prospecting magazines in, and then
right.
I'm opening up and there
you are.
I'm a centerfold.
Yeah.
There you go.
Charlie made July and August on the 2025 quarter hoarder calendar because he looks the best in the bikini. Yeah, he's the best.
There you go.
He gets all the summer months.
He wears his thong.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, so let me move on, Gypsy, because it's already an hour's gone by already.
Oh,
this
my
is how
gosh.
fast it goes. So she starts off her YouTube channel, builds it up, gets the Garrett sponsorship, travels around the world, all over the country, And then what does she come along, Charlie? She lands some television appearances.
Oh, yeah.
Beyond Oak Island, the Gold Rush show. Gypsy, how does that work out? How did you land these television appearances?
Man, it's crazy because I know, Jason, you being a YouTuber, you've gotten approached many times. In fact, some of those pre-times before those shows ever happened, I even contacted Jason because I had been contacted. I know he had been contacted about all these upcoming, hey, we're going to make this TV show. We're interested in you being. But this particular one, the first one was with Freddy Dodge Gold Mine Rescues. So how that one came about, I was actually in Vegas at, Garrett had sent me to Vegas, and they were at the big this big trade show, the SHOT Show, and giant sports event, sports SHOT. Anyway, so they had a booth. Yeah, and so they had a booth, and so I'm standing behind the booth, and I'm talking to customers and showing them, the metal detectors that are coming by. And so these two guys come by the booth, and I see, everybody, Steve and who was there, KG and Ringy were there, the diggers, and they're all like, "Oh wow, so and so's here," and they're like shaking his hand and taking photos with him, and I'm like, "Who is that?" And so the next thing I know, nobody introduces me to him, and the next thing I know, there's this gold bar about yay big that's being passed around, and it gets passed around to me. And I'm sitting there, and it's plopped down in my hand real heavy. And I look at it, and it says Gold Rush on it. I'm like, oh, okay, click, click. But I still don't know who this person is. And so I hand it back, and then they continue talking. And then after a little while, this man comes over and stands right in front of me, and he says, "I don't believe I met you yet." And he reaches across the counter and shakes my hand, and he says, "Hi, I'm Freddy Dodge." And I still don't know who the heck this is because I'd watched some of the Gold Rushes, but this was he had been on some of the past Gold Rushes, but he was starting Freddy Dodge Gold Mine Rescue, a new show.
Like a spinoff.
A spinoff. And so his own show. So after that, we talked for just a brief moment, and I said, "It was a pleasure to meet you." And then he goes on, and we go on. So then after that, Rusty and I are going to go look at some of the booths. So we're walking around, and I come back, and Steve goes, "Hey, you remember that guy that was just here, Freddie? He's got a new show coming out, and he wants to talk about having you as a guest on his new show." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And he said, when he comes back around, if you will, go, talk to him more about it, and he'll tell you more about it. So he came back, and Freddie and I walked all around, and every 2 seconds, somebody's saying, "Oh, Freddie Dodge, can I have my photo with you?" And so he's stopping every two seconds, somebody's snapping a photo. And so I'm like, okay, this guy's really well known. Well, then at the end, he asked me out to dinner. So Freddy Dodge ended up taking me out to dinner that night, and really nice. We met over. I like Ubered or taxied a car over to the hotel there where he was staying, and we ate in like this fancy restaurant in this casino like hotel, and he talked more about the show and told me about it, and I said, "Sure, just let me know." And
you didn't have to audition then because the main guy wanted you. He just
wanted to know my knowledge, about metal detectors, how long I've been with Garrett, yada, yada, yada. And so anyway.
Did he pay for the dinner with money or with little gold nuggets?
Little gold nuggets.
Yeah, little gold nuggets. Yeah.
And after my appearance with him, it's funny, I got another call. That's a whole nother story, but I had a bad experience with my manager that I had a manager after that at the time. We won't go into all that right now, but what I will say is Freddie called me Christmas and said he's got his upcoming season. They're going to start filming, and he's The problem with a lot of these filmings, they don't decide till like you have to be right ready to hop on a plane and go meet them when they start planning out these episodes and where they're going to film. And so I had to be right ready to get, to go. And this was during COVID. So I had to go get a COVID shot. I had to have a COVID test every day. It was, the whole cast did. It was miserable.
Now, when you do these, I mean, you're not an actress, so to say.
No, not at all.
Do you have to memorize lines? Is it whatever you naturally say? Is there more than one take, or whatever happens the first time you run with it?
It's pretty much kind of like how we do with our YouTube, because it is reality TV. Now they may say, hey, we want to start the scene with you and Freddy walking up, or you and Freddy you stepping out of the car, shaking Freddy's hand, yada, yada, that kind of thing. It's just a little direction on where they want to go. They set up the cameras and then action, so it's just,
The
like
dialogue
ours.
is natural. All the
Just
dialogue is
natural. Be yourself, because it's not like acting like I'm pretending to be somebody. I'm Gypsy Jewels as the metal detectorist treasure hunter on there. So that's what I really enjoyed about, that show and the other show that I was on as well as a few other stuff.
Did they have a wardrobe, or do you wear whatever you showed up in?
So what they did ahead of time, they just wanted they do like a wardrobe check. So you just send them a photo of what you're going to be wearing, and you get approved or not approved, or would you wear this? And you have to wear the same thing each day. So
That's what I tell my people. I just had the conversation with Lynn.
Because if you have to do any editing or
Thank
anything
you.
like that,
Thank you. You hear that, Rich?
so
As long as you tell me what I was wearing last week.
I can't tell you how many times I got a call. It's usually Doug, because he wears a different outfit every week. I say, Doug, I'm adding to last week. I need you to wear this hat, this shirt. Here's a picture. That's why, Gypsy. You're giving good insider
and don't
advice.
shave that beard.
Don't
for
shave
this
the beard.
episode.
Right.
Go get your hair cut.
Yes. No, that's how you have to. You have to have that consistency. Did they have a makeup person there, or is it,
I did my own and everything. For that one, they didn't. For another thing I did, another film project that hasn't come out yet, we had a makeup artist and a hairstylist. But
for taking advantage of that. Oh man,
right. For these though, basically, you just have to be right ready to, jump in.
You're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
Now, when you record there all day or multiple days, whatever it is, and then when you ultimately watch them when they aired on television, were there any scenes that you were like, darn it, they cut that out? I really like, were you bummed that you thought something was great and they must have had a different thought process?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of stuff that got cut. It's funny, how we cut a lot of stuff on our reality shows.
I sure do.
Like, you dig a million pull tabs, or you dig, like, I remember the area I was hunting, I dug a lot of shotgun shells that sound like, where gold's going to hit. So there were several shotgun shells, and they filmed it, and I really think they probably did want to add it in because of what I said in there, and they said, oh, that was great what you said, and yada, yada. But it ended up getting cut, because once they piece this thing together and you've only got 45 minutes of real watch time, and then you got the commercials in between, etc., and all that, you have to whittle it down. And you know that as an editor, or sometimes your thing's going to be like 2 or 3 hours long because you were there all day, metal detecting, and here we are, we're there 3 days filming, and then you got your 5 minutes of fame.
Yeah, and they got to give it, they got to cut it down. Like you said,
Right.
Maybe an hour show is only 42 minutes or whatever.
Right.
And yeah, there's no getting around it. Did you, after you watched a professional production like that, did you take anything that you saw and apply it to your YouTube channel, like to try to take the professional world and bring it down to our more amateur world?
Yeah, a lot of stuff, especially setting up, I know you do it occasionally when I'm really not and I have a hard time doing this. You know this. It slows us down. When we're out hunting, it slows us down having to stop, pull out the camera, set up a camera for a different angle and all that. I would say I picked up some stuff, but I still try to keep it simple for my YouTube because it takes away from your hunt time. And you've only got, if you're out there for 4 hours to hunt and try to make a video out of that, you want to be able to get in there and dig as many targets as you can.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, definitely. There's a few things, I definitely took away for my YouTube channel, but more for other projects I'm working on as well.
I know me, Gypsy, and I'm so anal. Like if I was in that situation, I know they'd be like, all right, go climb up this hill and do this thing. And I'd be like, well, look, not to be a jerk, but if you filmed it from that angle, it might, you know what I mean? Like, and then I'd be like, oh, am I being a jerk? Like I wouldn't want to overstep,
Oh no, it is true. Because, when you've been doing what you and I've been doing, and then you watch I don't know about you, but I do this all the time now. I'm watching a show and I'm going, oh, cool editing. Look at that angle,
That's all I do when I watch.
I do too, all the time.
When I watch another YouTuber detecting anything, I don't even know what you found. I only look at the angles you're doing. I look at the lighting. I look at the color grading. I look at the transitions because, whatever you found, I've seen other people find it a million times. Like
right.
I'm looking at like how you put it together, because that's what I really find enjoyable anymore. So right. I would have loved to have even sat in on a professional and watched how they do it and tried to soak that in like a sponge.
Right. It's fun. It's definitely fun.
So after you made all these appearances on these nationwide television shows, I think they were on History Channel, Discovery Channel. Did you notice that you maybe got recognized in public ever? Like, how often does that happen for you?
Quite a bit.
Does it really?
Yeah. The other day at the grocery store, another day I was with my son and we were about to go in. I was about to get gas, and there was a man walking out of the store, and he just stopped and he said, "Gypsy Jewels." And he goes,
wow.
He said, "My father is a big fan, and I am also." And he said, "I've actually messaged you before, and I watch all your videos. So my dad, can I take a photo of you?" And, I guess but that's probably the most recent is those two. But one of my most funny ones, and I know we're probably running out of time, I'll tell this one real quick. And I was in October, the end of last year, I was in Roatan Island.
Oh, okay.
And I was on Roatan Island working on a film project and a treasure hunt that I'm currently working on. And anyway, got there, we were picked up at the airport, and we went from the airport before we went to our Airbnb. We went to this grocery store there to buy supplies to take back to the Airbnb. And so it's this pretty big grocery store, and we're in there, and next thing I know, we're out of I saw some people staring at me, but didn't, I'm in a foreign area, didn't think anything of it, Well, anyways, long story short, we're back. We're on that night with some of the friends that we're with, and we're on the beach at this little restaurant. We're under one of those little tiki things, eating our food, and I get this email alert on my phone, and it says it's this guy. He said, "The weirdest thing happened today." He said, "I'm in Roatan Island with my wife, and I could have swore I saw your doppelganger at the grocery store." And I messaged him back, and he said, "Well, even if it's not you, I just wanted to say I love your channel and I watch your videos, yada, yada." Well, anyway, long story short, I said, well, I messaged him back, and he said, if you are, I would love to join you or meet up with you. So I told him where we were at, and him and his wife came to meet us, and his son stayed back at their room or whatever. And so come to find out, his name was Cameron. And my youngest son's name is Cameron. And
Oh,
then
wow.
and then he told me that his brother's name is Colin, and my oldest son's name is Colin. And then he told me his son's name was Phoenix, and we just opened up a business called Phoenix Discount Depot. So it was just weird
Wow.
Wow, that
serendipity
is
stuff.
really weird.
So we were kind of tripping over that, but they took photos and we talked for a while, and it was fun. It's
No,
weird
that's
being
cool.
recognized in different places like that.
Yeah, Rich gets recognized the most out of our group. I think because his beard is
It's
just
the beard.
it's just so distinctive. And then Lynn gets recognized at her antique shows. A lot of people come up to her.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Charlie and I never leave the house really, so no one.
Jason, the only time people come up to me is when I'm at the beach detecting down in Delaware, because there's other detectors.
Oh, wow.
And they'll come up to me and they'll say, "Are you Jason?"
Are you Jason?
The only time, the most funny time that I got recognized, and it doesn't happen very often. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it happens every day, but I was going to either you or Doug's house on like a Saturday morning at like 6:30. And when I crossed over the bridge over into Philadelphia, you have to pay a toll. So I pulled up to the toll booth, and the toll booth guy recognized me. I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he says, "Hey, can I come take a picture?" Now, meanwhile, there's cars behind me. The guy gets out of his toll booth, comes around, sticks his head in my car, does a selfie. People are honking. And like, it was so weird.
That's hilarious.
You think
the guy was on the bridge, right? You're crossing the bridge there.
On the bridge, yeah. You think the guy would at least give me a free pass over the bridge, right? Nope.
Yeah, right.
That's hilarious.
So that was my fun thing. So before we move on, then all the stuff with the TV, and I don't want any spoilers necessarily, but are there other projects coming up that maybe we should keep an eye out for?
There are several projects. I actually, from all this, I've decided to start producing some of my own stuff. So there's one project that I'm working on that it's I think we'd already announced it. And then, well, there's so many. There's probably too many. That's the problem.
Yeah, too many at the same time.
I've actually started producing some of my own stuff. And so when those come out, they'll be on like True TV Plus, Tubi, a lot of the big, streaming networks. And then fingers crossed, we get the Netflix thing. So
yeah, that's what everyone wants nowadays. It's weird how the world has changed in the last 20 years.
It's so changed.
Where now, instead of like petitioning a network for your show, now you just make the show and then try to sell it to someone by airing it on smaller platforms, hoping a larger one picks it up. And that's how you do it nowadays. You can really do almost all of it yourself. You just have to have a ton of drive, a ton of time and energy with no guarantees, but you can really do it on your own. Just takes a little bit of luck and skill.
You really can.
Gypsy, are you still doing the podcast there with Amanda?
Yes, I am. That's every Monday night. We're not doing live streams right now because after the new year, the live part on Spreaker stopped. But since our contract is still several months out, and it's already paid up. We're remaining on there, so we're pre-recording it. So we did, and then it live streams, the pre-recorded live streams every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. is Eastern, same time, same bat channel for now, until hopefully we can do something like what you're doing, StreamYard. The only problem with that is it's hard for me with as much traveling as I do.
Right.
The good thing is right now I don't necessarily have to stop and do what you're doing tonight. I could do the phone, the ones we were doing anywhere. So it is going to make it a little more difficult. So we're going to try to work through that and probably do something similar to this platform.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, for people that don't know, I didn't get to it yet, but I guess we'll jump to it right now, is that Gypsy is also a podcaster. Right now, her podcast is called Treasure Vortex, that she does with Amanda DeGoss, good friend of ours, Charlie. And it's on the Spreaker Network, which is like a website you go to that does all podcasts. Now, the Spreaker Network stopped their live streaming as of, January 1st?
Yes.
So if you're a podcaster, you can still upload your podcast, but you can't do it. You can't perform it live with an audience in the chat like we're doing here. So she's kind of recording it, just her and Amanda, and then they're adding it and people can watch it after the fact. Now, if you go to a platform like this, Amanda is very good technology-wise. Maybe she can do a lot of the background stuff, and then you can call in from wherever you are. I'm sure the two of you will figure out some sort of a plan.
We'll figure it out what we're going to do. But yeah, the Treasure Vortex podcast Monday nights.
Now, did Garrett name their new machine after your podcast?
No, apparently they had decided that name a long time ago.
Okay, you don't get any residuals from the name then.
I wish.
No residuals from that. All right, and then of course, Charlie, there would be no interview without Gypsy Jewels if I didn't bring up. I'm going to switch with you, Gypsy. If I didn't show Gypsy's book, she is now a published author. Just Digging It: A Beginner's Guide to Metal Detecting. Gypsy, what made you write a book? What was the process behind that? How did that whole thing come to fruition?
Well, as you well know, that we get asked the same questions over and over and over again.
What's your phone number?
That too. I just got proposed to again, just with a post on Facebook a few days ago. It's like, oh my gosh. But seriously, we get asked the question all the time. How do I get started? What machine should I get? All those beginning questions that we all had, when we got started. And a lot of times when 26 years ago, there wasn't one place that I could find that information. And, there wasn't, YouTube didn't exist. I used to run to the bookstore every month and pick up one of the Eastern and Western Treasures magazine. Yeah. And that's where I gained some knowledge. And then there were some of the Garrett books that I started reading and learning knowledge. But so, in all that, I would get asked so much, how do I get started? And so it was much easier to compile it into a book and just say, although I'd never, ever would have thought I would be publishing my own, book. And never did I think I was going to start a YouTube channel. But, it just evolves. And so I did. And even still, I still get asked that constantly. So what I'm doing is I'm like, go to Amazon.
Check out the book.
Go to Garrett Direct. You can get a signed copy through Garrett Direct. Go to America Digger Magazine. They carry my books as well.
Yeah, you can see, Charlie, if you can see, mine is a signed copy because I happen to have an insider.
Oh, yeah.
I know her. You can also get it from your website, gypsydigs.com, right? Which I think links you to Amazon.
It actually links you there. But sometimes I just sold a copy yesterday. If I have any copies in stock, I will mail them out. Sometimes it's just a pain and it takes a little longer because I have to.
Yeah, you got to ship it.
I'm traveling and shipping and all that. Yeah. But it's easier if they do it because, it's already, the shipping's already included, yada, yada, all that. So
I agree. Now, the one thing about a book, unlike, other mediums where once you publish it, if there was something you wanted to add or change, like it's too late, the book is out there. Is there anything in the book that now looking back, you think, darn, I wish I would have put that in there? Like, is there anything you're like, oh, if I just would have put a page on this, like maybe for a next book or an amended copy, anything like that?
Yeah, occasionally I'm like, well, maybe I should have expounded on that more, or, because you mentioned something, but sometimes it doesn't always, when you're reading something for the first time, it doesn't always click with people. So I'm like, looking back, I'm like, maybe I should have went into more detailed explanation about that particular thing. Or maybe, now, I put some photos of some of the Garrett machines on now. It needs a vortex in there. It's not in there.
Yeah.
Or just stuff like that. And then now I'm like, well, maybe I should do, that definitely. So I've been thinking about maybe doing a revised version, or
That's what it
just
is. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, there's always going to be things, and you're always learning too. You might find a new
exactly
technique and you want to share it with people to help them
right,
out.
right,
So yeah, it's one of those things where when you put a book, it's so final, but it gives you a reason to maybe do
right.
an updated version. I'm excited. I'll have to pick it up. You have to let me know once
All
that's
right.
out. So if Joe Schmo, new detectorist, buys your book, reads it, doesn't know anything about detecting, what's one thing that you think is the most important thing they'll take away as a brand new detectorist reading Gypsy's book, Just Digging It?
Well, one thing I hope that's a good question
I
too.
throw these zingers in there just to get
You do. I hope they're able to pick it up and just mainly say, after reading that, I know kind of what I want to research and what detector to start with, number one, because that's the first thing I started with, you know. Secondly, and, I went into an explanation about test gardens and testing your machine,
I
and
read that part. Yeah.
and reading their manual. Now, if it's in a different language, like
I made a YouTube video for it.
that's a little tougher. But hopefully they get enough of the basics down after reading, those first few chapters, and from that point, from getting their detector to how to get out there and how to ask those questions and how to go about getting permissions, etc. Hopefully it's the basics of what they need to get them going, and with some extras in there, because one of the things that we get asked a lot, is, can I go hunt on state property? Can I go hunt on this property? Can you get asked that all the time. So I tried to cover all of that and all the different regulations out there, the laws. You can't go into too much detail, but basically to let them
It's a
know.
general guide. Yeah, there's chapters on cleaning your coins. There's chapters on displaying your finds. It's really good for beginners, and I'll even say for people that are more than a beginner. Who out there isn't always learning. So she did a great job with it. If you didn't get one yet, Gypsy Jewels book, you can get it from Garrett.com, gypsydigs.com, amazon.com. Or if you forget, you can email me and I'll send you to one of those three later. Now, before we wrap this up, I'm going to put it out there. I have one more section I want to show of Gypsy stuff. If anybody has any questions for Gypsy, please put them in the comments, and I'll try to keep an eye out, and I will put them up for Gypsy to answer while I go over this last segment, because my last segment really has nothing to do with metal detecting. But it's a part of Gypsy that maybe not everyone sees that I thought was really interesting. I'm going to bring it up full screen real quick and have her talk about it, because Gypsy is also an extremely talented painter. Gypsy, I'm going to bring it up. Where did you learn how to do this? Because I'm going to place through some of these. They're really, 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 really good.
Thank you. So that one right there is on a wood panel.
Is this you? Is it a self-portrait?
It's not. It's not.
Okay. A lot of them look like the model is you.
That's what a lot of people keep asking me. They're like, that's got to be you. That's you. That's definitely you.
You're like,
But
that
it's
looks
not.
like you. I mean, and listen, if it is you, hey,
It's not.
you're always available to model for yourself. Like that would make sense.
Right.
And these are, now I know because my wife is an art teacher,
Artist.
so I pick up art things. This is acrylic paint. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes.
I'm just going to run through some of them because there's some animals she does. I mean, look, you probably have no idea how difficult those feathers are to blend it all, make it look really good. This one, oh, you got like $1 million for this one, didn't you, Gypsy?
I wish.
Oh, not quite. But they're all very, very good. It's really incredible to watch someone take nothing and make something out of it. And I think you do sell them on your Facebook page. Is that your primary way when you sell them?
Yeah, I just pop them up there sometimes after I finish them. I have 2, actually 3 that I just recently completed that I added on there. And I also do custom stuff. Usually for the custom stuff, it takes me a little longer. But because, oh, cool, you got that one in there too.
Yeah, I just saw this one. There was one that you did about a year ago. It was a close-up of a buffalo. And I really loved it, but I couldn't find that picture on your Facebook.
One of our fellow diggers bought that. And he's bought several of my paintings. You may know Raymond Jones.
Oh, Raymond Jones. Yeah, I know Raymond.
Yeah. So he bought that. And so I'm sure he would definitely take a photo, but
is that Angelina Jolie or is that Gypsy Jewels?
It kind of does look like her. It's not. I try to make my people kind of generic. That way, there's not just one particular, feature that looks like one particular person. Because if you're going to hang it on the wall, if you're going to do a portrait of someone, you want it to look like a specific person. But if you're going to hang a painting like that on your wall, you don't want it to be exactly some one particular person.
Yeah, no, I get it. They're really good. Teresa put a link up.
Thank you, Teresa.
No, the link doesn't look very good if I bring the text up. But if you go to Facebook, Gypsy Jewels, you look it up, you can join her page. And she does put them up there along with, photos of her finds, her hunts, things she's doing with Garrett.
One thing I wanted to say about my Facebook real quick, I've met my maximum friend acceptance that I can accept.
Oh, they can still follow you though, right?
But they can follow me. So if they'll just follow me, that I'm not trying, if I don't want to offend anyone, that I'm not accepting your friend request is because I can't accept any more new ones.
Yeah. I use that same excuse, Gypsy. I tell everyone that.
I'm serious. I can't.
Even in real life, I tell people that. I say, sorry, Rich, I'm already at my friend quota. Lose my number. No, I think Facebook does cap you at like 5,000 friends or something like that.
They capped me.
I was there also, and then I wound up creating like a quarter hoarder page, and then I can just have whatever. But I lost interest in Facebook. I have a weird relationship with I get really into it for like a month, and I post every day, and I'm all excited, and then I lose interest and just stop. And I'm in the lose interest phase right now.
Now they can go over to my Zero Discrimination group, and I think there's over, I don't know how many, 12,000, 15,000. I don't remember how many followers there. Daily, it's just growing leaps and bounds. So that group they can go over and follow as well.
5 Mile Relic Hunter wants to know if it was Dougie. I think he was referring to this picture you painted. I'm not sure. Was it this one? That one you thought was Doug? It kind of looks like him a little bit. You got a lot of the white down. Now, Doug couldn't be here today. He was really bummed. He was really looking forward to you coming on. He had a last-minute emergency. He was in the chat earlier. So I'm sorry.
Let him know I missed him.
Yeah, you're one of his favorites. He always loves seeing you. And with tomorrow being Valentine's Day, I told him all week, I said, look, Doug, don't make it uncomfortable and ask her to be your Valentine. You're a married man. Knock it off. Brian Stewart in the chat, he said he detected with you and KG in Kansas a couple years ago. You do make the rounds and get around the country, Gypsy. And I think I saw Garrett even send you to another country last year, didn't they?
Yeah, I got to go to the Netherlands. So
wow.
that was amazing. That was amazing.
Did you already have a passport?
I did.
Okay.
It was funny because right before COVID hit, Garrett had asked me if I wanted to go to Italy. They were planning an Italy trip, and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit, and they shut it down, and I was like, ah.
I would love to stow away in the undercarriage. I'd love to stow away in the undercarriage and do an Italy trip.
That would be epic.
Not yet. Will Gypsy be at Digstock or come out swinging? Would be nice, Charlie, to get her out our way.
That would be nice.
But how about Digstock? That's a big one. Any plans on going to that one?
I am going. I just found out this last week.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, they just got my tickets. So I will be there.
You can check her out. You can get you ask her nicely for a picture, ask her nicely for an autograph, and she may even have books there. Is that right, Gypsy?
I'm hoping. I need to order some now.
She's got to get some more. All right, so I'm going to go around and have the panel ask any questions. Anyone in the chat, feel free to put any questions in. I'm going to try to cut this off in the next 10 minutes. We've been going 2 hours.
Wow.
But, Charlie, any last things you'd like to say out there for the lovely Miss Gypsy Jewels?
You know, she does the water detecting. I was wondering how you enjoy doing that. It's not the easiest. Jason and I, the whole group tried water detecting one time. It was a disaster. It was.
I never will forget my first time water hunting. I had just purchased the Garrett Sea Hunter. Didn't know what I was doing. I bought me a long-handled water scoop, and I went straight out into the surf in Galveston, Texas, not knowing what I was doing. And I got this hit. And I was in water up to here.
Oh, gosh.
And then all of a sudden the waves started going, whipping you. And I was just about to give up on a target because all of you know now, Jason, when I stand up next to him, if you look at those pictures, I'm a shorty. I'm 5'2".
Yeah.
So he's really tall. And so you can imagine me out there trying to beat these waves in, 4.5 foot of water. And when each time the wave hits up, I'm like, my head's bobbing under, And I was about to give up. I was like, this is too deep. I'm too far out here. The waves are starting to come on. And I tried to get several times this one target. And I was just about to give up. I'd tried like 6 or 7 times. And finally I pulled it up and I looked down and there's this ring. And I was like, oh
nice.
My gosh. And it actually turned out to be my first diamond ring.
Oh, wow.
And it had 2 rolls of channel set diamonds in it. So that hooked me on water detecting.
Yeah, I can see that hooking me too, Charlie.
And so after that, it wasn't just the beach hunting and the surf hunting. It became, a passion to go to lakes, swimming areas, rivers, creeks, you name it. Any type of water hunting, I love it because that's where I usually find the jewelry.
Yeah, right. Well, we tried it one time, and Jason, his filming was mostly of crayfish at his feet. Around his feet. That was the best we could do.
I didn't realize, Charlie, that the water was only waist high.
Right.
So I thought, well, all my stuff will stay dry, not realizing that when you go to pick the target up, you got to bend over, and then my head's submerged. Like I didn't even think about that.
Right. So we have a lot to learn.
Yeah,
we're not going to give it up. We're going to try it again sometime.
Just
probably.
keep on keeping on.
We're going to keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
And FL Thunder digging with Rob wants to know if you're ever going back to Clearwater, Gypsy. I guess I would
love to go back. My issue right now is if Garrett doesn't pay for my trip, it's hard for me to travel, as you all know. So if it's a sponsored trip where Garrett's buying my tickets or all of that, because I don't get to Florida as much as I used to, because I used to have like family that we traveled there together, and not anymore. So now it's harder for me to get to. So if anybody wants to sponsor a trip for me to come, I would be more than happy to travel and hunt some of those areas. But if there is an upcoming hunt in Florida, I would love to go and try to meet up with some of my old friends. I've hunted several times with Rob there and had a blast. We found some great stuff, made some videos. So, what a great time. I'd love to get back as soon as I can.
I would love to get out there too. 5 Mile Relic Hunter Gypsy wants to know if you ever had a chance to hunt in the Gulf of America.
In the Gulf of America.
We don't have to answer that one. Lynn, any last minute thoughts for the lovely Miss Gypsy Jewels?
Out your way in Texas, do you get much of the historic stuff? I mean, Texas has a rich history.
It does have a rich history. We don't find as many large scents like y'all do over there. I actually had to go out of state to find my first large scent. And there are areas, it's just not as rich as y'all, as the area where y'all live, where you have the old cellar holes, as many old homesteads from like the early 1700s. I did hunt a property not too long ago, I think 1840. So I would say most of the places that in Texas, if it's older than 1840s, it's usually on protected land if it's still standing, or if there was a lot of rich Texas history, it's like state property or national property. So it's harder to find those here. But there's still find a lot of Civil War stuff. Still find lots of silver, stuff like that. Just not as many of those types like y'all find, like the large scents. Just rarely find them here.
But with it being, kind of close to Mexico, do you find a lot of, a lot of the Mexican reals and?
Sometimes it just depends on where you are. Like this, some, yes. Again, you kind of have to go to some of those areas. Now, there's some that will find the old Spanish mission areas, but again, a lot of that area is pretty highly protected. So if you do land one of those properties and get lucky, there's some of that found. It's just a lot easier for me to travel to y'all up there where you get to find some of that. But there are some bigger treasures, though, in Texas that I'm actually working on. I will say this, I won't say where, but because Texas does have some rich history, like you said, with the Spanish and the Mexico and all of that, there's an area I'm working on where we've located some ships. And I can't divulge too much because it's part of one of the film projects I'm working on as well. But there's some very rich history that's connected to not only Texas, but the whole U.S. that really is important. So I'm hoping that comes to light within the next year or two. It's just going to be a long project. I'll put it that way.
Well, exciting though. It's exciting times. Rich, any last thoughts for the lovely Miss Gypsy Jewels?
Well, these are never, long enough. We want to have people on multiple times because there's just so many questions.
It's going to be a bridged version tonight.
Yeah, I was thinking, instead of just asking what your favorite find was, what was your favorite find that was a relic, not like a coin or anything, but a relic?
One of my favorite relics ever found was, and it wasn't during my YouTube days, so it's sad that I didn't capture it, but I found a Civil War Eagle officer belt buckle. And, I ended up giving it to the owner, which it's on their wall. But it was kind of tough giving it back to the owner, but you know how it is. There's just some things you end up returning. They were actually with me when I found it. So, you know.
That seems to be for me how it goes. If the owner wants stuff, that's where I'm gonna find the
Exactly.
the thing I want.
Not this weekend though. You left with something really good this past weekend.
Yeah.
And I found the find of my lifetime, and I held it for
Really?
35 seconds and then gave it to the guy.
Ah,
But I was happy to give it to him.
Yeah, you would
Well-
look nice in that.
No, I was happy to give it to
I
him.
can't wait to watch this video. When does this episode drop?
I don't know yet. In the future.
In the future.
To build on Rich's question, Gypsy, I'm curious. Like we always ask what your best find was, but I always like what was your worst thing ever? And I don't mean just like you got skunked and didn't find anything, but was ever like a bad day where something horrible happened? You fell out of a tree, you twisted your ankle, you dug up a grenade and it exploded. Like what was the worst detecting experience that you've had?
And do you detect in trees very often?
I hadn't fallen out any of those or anything like that, but there was one day during COVID, and I'd been like chomping at the bit to get out, and I had somebody drop me off in this very secluded place. About 10 minutes after I'd been out there, the brush has grown up so high, so it's as tall as me, and I started kind of climbing this rocky terrain, and I looked down and I'm teetering on this rock. Next thing I know, I lose my balance and I go, and I heard my ankle actually do that. Snap.
Did it break? You broke your ankle?
I broke my ankle.
And you were all by yourself?
I was all by myself.
Oh,
and so
that
here
is
I
tough.
am trying to call, don't get an answer, text, don't get a response for like 30 minutes later. So what I ended up doing, I tried to, walk, and I tried to use my shovel and my detector to try to, but by then it was just so hard. So I ended up crawling part of the way towards the road so I could get back part of the way. It was miserable.
Yeah, imagine we show up to rescue her after we get a call, and we show up and we see this field of 5-foot-high brush. She's laying down because her ankle's broken.
You can't see it.
Good luck finding her.
Right. That's basically what happened. That's why I was crawling towards the road. And I'm sitting there on the phone going, I've crawled so many feet, so I know I'm close. I can see the road from here, but I still was ways away. So, oh my gosh.
Well, that is kind of, I'm sure at the moment it wasn't funny, but now looking back.
Yeah.
Looking back.
So, always let people know where you're at if you're hunting alone.
Now, I've never hunted in Texas, but we were in Oklahoma, Charlie, and that grass was probably maybe knee high, and it was like razor blades, Gypsy. That grass, we came out, our legs were all cut up and bloody. And before we went in, the organizer said, "Oh, be careful. There could be poisonous snakes in there too." Like, what the heck? What is this place?
That sounds like Texas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I picture Texas being similar. So, go figure. The trials and tribulations of a metal detecting.
True, so true.
All right, Gypsy, I want to thank you. Let me see if I can make you full screen. My mouse kind of died on me. There it is. I want to thank you, Gypsy, for spending 2 hours with us tonight. You're always a pleasure to see. I can't wait to see you the next time again in person. Give you a big hug. One of my favorite people in the hobby, and I can't thank you enough for donating your time to us tonight and everybody watching.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking with all of you and all of you listeners and watching out there. Thank you. And y'all have a great night. Yeah,
don't forget, guys, check her out on YouTube, Zero Discrimination, on Facebook, gypsyjewels.com. She even has an IMDb page. If you look up Gypsy Jewels, she has her own IMDb from all the television shows. So, and who knows what incredible things are going to be coming down the line. So, Gypsy, thank you again for coming on all your time, and I can't wait to do it again.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
Take care, Gypsy.
Bye, Gypsy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
She's a good one, Charlie.
Yes, she is. Yeah.
Always even the first time I met her years and years ago, like Teresa, you just instantly like her. She's good people, always has a kind word to say. And you can approach her at an event. I've met people at some of these events that you approach them and they're not the nicest people. You know what I mean?
Right,
not
exactly.
Gypsy. Always friendly, always welcoming. When I said she's a good representative for any company, I wasn't kidding. She's one of the good ones, Charlie. I like to think
Yes,
we're
she is.
one of the good ones too. I think we're all one of the good. Maybe not Rich. Maybe not Rich.
A lot of these guests, Gypsy included, we could have her on 10 times and still have questions.
Yeah, I didn't even get into like some of the other hunting she does. She does arrow hunting. I was going to ask her some creek questions, some water
Bottles.
things.
She does bottles. Yeah.
Bottles. So it'll have to be, a lot of these guests I'm sure we'll have on again in the future, and who knows what other crazy adventures she'll be on since then.
Right.
But yeah, we're going to get ready to wind this up soon. Charlie, what are you doing for tomorrow, the big Valentine's Day? Everybody in the chat, happy Valentine's Day, one of the most expensive holidays.
Yeah.
That I don't even know why I have to buy things. But what are you doing tomorrow for with the special lady, Charlie?
Make my wife a special dinner. I've been doing cooking lately, and I'm going to make it very special for her tomorrow.
Ooh.
And lots of hugs and kisses, that's for sure.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to set up a webcam and try to watch.
Weird.
Yeah. Well, that sounds creepy.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right, I won't watch Charlie, but that's good. If she wasn't taken, I would ask you to be my Valentine because she's also one of the good ones.
She's quite a lady, I can tell you that.
Yes.
She's very special.
One of the good ones. Lynn, how about you? Valentine's Day, anything special?
Well, we're gonna go out to a nice restaurant, but we're not gonna go on Valentine's Day just because of the crowds. So we're gonna go probably next week during the week.
Okay, good plan.
That's
I do the same thing.
That's very smart. Very smart.
I do the same thing. Instead
Yeah.
of taking my wife out on Valentine's Day because it's crazy, I wait and I take her out on Mother's Day instead.
Wow.
Which
That's
is
big
also
of you.
crazy. Which is
Yeah.
also crazy.
Oh, darn it. Lynn, I hope you go out. Dave is your Valentine this year?
He is.
All right, good. I'm glad he got. I wasn't sure if someone else asked you. I mean, you never know.
It's
Rich,
kind of a
anything
standing thing that he is.
All right, I wasn't sure. It's a standing thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Rich, how about for you? Anything for Valentine's Day?
Well, I get work during the day, and then I'll probably make some sort of dinner, but not going out. But I'll make something nice.
Sounds like the same as happened today and yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that sounds good.
Well,
Yeah.
it'll be nicer than normal.
Nicer than normal. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went out and got my wife some things already.
Nice.
My wife's birthday was last week, and it was a big one of the 0 birthdays. So I dropped I dropped an exorbitant amount of money on that. So now a week later, I'm like, crap, I got to go do it again. She got minimal gifts, but enough to appreciate the love. Yes. So, all right, we're going to get out of here, guys. I don't know if we're going to be back next week or not. It was going to be a regular, just us going over the last 2 or 3 videos, but we might be traveling next Thursday. There's a chance that either I won't do it or maybe move it to Wednesday. I'm not sure yet. So if we're not here, we'll definitely be back in 2 weeks with Heartbreaker Relics that are coming on, talking about Native American stuff, all that sort of arrowheads and all the rocks. And I don't even know anything about it. I'm going to learn. It's a learning day. And then the following week, which would be an off week, Mr. Kurt Franz of the Hoover Boys will be joining us. I saw somebody asked about it. So that'll be the following week. So lots of cool guests coming up, lots of fun things. So thank you all for joining us along the way. But Rich, I'm going to get out of here. I'm tired. My throat's getting sore. So for Doug, who's not in today, Charlie, Lindiana Jones, and Rich, thank you all for watching. Happy hunting. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.